Hey everybody, I'm Miles. I decided to start doing my videos again about trans-related topics because I've been doing a lot of research lately, and I usually go to YouTube for that just because you can find videos for anything, and I found that a lot of the things that I'm looking for answers for, it's kind of hard to find if you can even find videos on it, and so I decided to start doing my videos again and just kind of address those topics that maybe most people wouldn't think of, but then also do just some general topics as well. So, like I said, my videos are all trans related, and since this is my first one, I just want to give a little introduction. But this video is actually going to be my coming out video, so let's start with that. Okay, so my coming out story is kind of long and a little bit complicated, and so I'm gonna try to shorten it up a little bit and just kind of hit the basics and just tell you about my coming out story. I am transgender, female to male, and also pansexual, but this is mainly about the transgender part. So to start my coming out story, I guess I always kind of knew, ever since I was a kid, I always knew that I was different, and my first actual memory of that, of knowing that I wasn't normal, I guess, is the best word I can think to describe it. That's how I had thought of it as a child. I was 5 years old, and I was at the park with my cousin, and we were really close. He was my best friend, and we were at the park hanging out, and there was a teenage girl there. She was like 16 probably, and I don't really know how it happened, but we were talking, we started talking to her, she started talking to us or something. We were having a conversation with her, and just talking in general, and then she was like, "So are you guys brothers?" And Josh just kind of looked at me. I don't think that he really knew what to say, and I mean, I didn't either. I was 5, and I was like, "No, actually we're cousins, but we're really close, so yeah, we're pretty much brothers." And then I kind of thought about it for a sec, and I was like, "Well, actually I'm a girl, but you know, it's..." She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and was trying to apologize, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine, everybody does it." It didn't bother me at the time, and I mean, it had been happening to me my whole life, so to me it was just a regular occurrence. But that was my first memory of actually knowing that I was different, and I guess that was actually me coming out to some random person I didn't even know. But anyway, so fast forward a few years, I kept getting mistaken as a guy. Is that how you'd say that? I would always have people just refer to me as male, and so again, it was just a normal occurrence. It was a normal thing to me. Everybody did it, and I sometimes would correct them, sometimes I would just kind of be whatever, I don't care. It wasn't really a big deal to me because I had just grown up with it. When I was about 10, I started watching the TV show Degrassi, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, and it was you know, the old ones. This was almost 9 years ago, and it was one when Adam was there, and he was a transgender character on the show. And I remember when he first came and they were explaining what transgender was and how he felt, I remember thinking that's how I feel, I think that's what I am. And so but I didn't really say anything because I still didn't really understand what it was. And then about a year later, so I was 11, I had been watching Degrassi this whole time and had kind of had a better idea of what transgender was. And so I called my mom into my room one night and was like, "Hey mom, I want to talk to you about something." And so she came in and we sat down, and I was like, "I think I'm transgender." And she kind of gave me this look. She didn't know what it meant, and you know, it was still a fairly new term when I came out, so she had never heard it. She didn't know what it was. And so I kind of explained it to her, and I explained it the same way Degrassi did, and explained to her how Adam was, you know, and what he felt and everything, was just trying to explain it to her. And, but she had kind of been you know, I love you and support you, but you're still really young, and your hormones are acting up because you're just starting puberty, and I think that you just kind of need to wait and just kind of see what happens. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's really smart, actually. And so I just kind of pushed it to the back of my mind, and tried not to really think about it, and just kind of was like living my life and stuff, and was like, my mom's always right, so like obviously like I'm not, like it's just a phase or something. Well, when I was 12, uh, I started realizing that I was attracted to girls, and I was like, why is this happening? Like, I was finally moving past all of that, and I remember it was just kind of like something that I really didn't want, and like I didn't want to be LGBT, and not because I thought there was anything wrong with it, and I hadn't been raised to believe that there was anything wrong with it, but I just remember like reading and hearing about everything that happens to LGBT kids, like, like getting bullied, or like, when they're like getting murdered, and like a lot of them commit suicide, and like just all these problems they had. And I just remember like I didn't want to have to go through that. I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to live a normal life. And I just remember that like when that realization finally came that I was attracted to girls, I was just kind of like no, this can't be happening. And I remember going to bed every night and just like praying that I would wake up and it would pass, and it would just be a phase, or that I was just a normal person, which I'm not. Like, that sounds really bad, but like I was young and I didn't want to be gay or trans or any of it, and so I just remember just like asking, like, please don't let me be a part of that group. I don't want to have to deal with any of that. And but if you're a part of the LGBT community, as well as I do, that you can't just ignore something like that. And so after a few months, I was finally like, okay, it's not going away. So this is who I am. I'm attracted to girls. Not a big deal. It's like, I'm a lesbian, I guess. I'm not trans, though. And so I came out to, I was like 13, and when I finally like accepted it, and I came out to my mom and told her, like, I'm gay, and I think that this is what it's been. And she was like, yeah, like, we always kind of figured you were, like, even from a young age, we kind of knew, like, everything was good. My parents fully supported me, so did my sister, my friends, like, everybody, well, not everybody, but everybody that I was close to, everybody that I cared about, supported me, and they were okay with it. And, like, of course you get those few asshole kids in high school and, well, junior high, are, douchebags about it and whatever, and you just kind of gotta deal with that. But anyways, and so I lived my life as a lesbian for the next 2 years, and I dated girls, and I still presented myself as a girl. And, by this time I was, like, well into puberty, and which was like a really definitely tough thing for me, especially when I had still kind of had the thoughts of being trans, because like like my chest started to grow, and like it was just like I was looking more feminine, and I didn't want that at all, and it had made me feel really uncomfortable. But I had just kind of been like, like, this is just what it is like, and so I just kind of dealt with it. So about 2 years after I came out as lesbian to my family and friends, throughout this whole 2 years still didn't feel right. And then, so finally I was 15, and I called my mom in my room again. I'm really close with my mom, so it was easy for me to talk to her about this stuff. And so I called her in my room again, and I was like, okay, like, I know, like, it's been a long few years, but I'm transgender. I was like, I know now. I was like, I didn't before. I thought I was just gay, but I'm not. I was like, I'm transgender. This is who I am. Whether or not you will accept me, this is who I am. And I just, like, I can't deny it anymore. I finally realized it. And she was incredibly supportive, and was like, I still love you, and I'll support you through everything, and so came out to all my family, well, most of my family, and my friends, and again, everybody was just really supportive of it. And like, of course none of them really knew what it was, and so that was like kind of like the biggest thing, is I would tell them, and then they would have to be like, well, I don't know what that is, and like, does that just mean gay? And then I'd have to explain to them what transgender was, and so that was like that was like the biggest part of it, was just explaining what it was. But they all still accepted me, and everything was fine, you know, everything was good, and it's still like it took a while for it to like catch on, I just because it was new, you know, and like I hadn't really been like trying to like shove it down people's throats and be like, okay, you have to call me by male pronouns and you have to use a different name. Because I was still kind of just like coming to terms with it, and I still hadn't like fully accepted who I was. I knew who I was. I knew I was transgender. I just didn't. I still didn't want to be, and so it was a really hard thing for me to accept, anyways. And so I didn't really push it at first. But after a while, it kind of became like that. You know, it is what it is. And I was like, you got to learn to accept yourself and love yourself for who you are. And so once I started like really accepting the fact that I was transgender, is when I started pushing it for people to use male pronouns. And so they started doing that, and then I started going by my middle birth name, I think is how you would, anyways, because it was unisex. And so I started going by my old middle name, until a few months later I finally decided on the name Miles. And so then once I told everybody that that was the new name that I wanted, then everybody started calling me Miles, and started using male pronouns. And I mean, like, it was a hard process. It was a hard transition for people to use the new name and the new pronouns, and it took a while. And I mean, honestly, people still slip up sometimes, and it's not a big deal to me anymore. It was definitely when I first came out, because it really just the feeling you get is kind of hard to understand if you're not trans. But I'll explain that in my next video. But anyway, so that's my coming out story. I've been transitioning now for almost 4 years, I guess, technically, since I really started presenting myself as more of like a masculine person when I was 15. So yeah, almost 4 years, and I'm honestly just a lot happier, and I'm a lot more confident in everything, and it's just been a really good thing for me as a person. So anyways, that's my coming out video. Also, real quick, before I end it, I'm going to be making these videos quite often. I'm going to try to do one like every couple of weeks, but with college and work and everything, it's going to be kind of, you know, difficult. I'm just going to have to like work it into my free time. So it might end up being like one every month or something. But I'm definitely going to keep doing them. And like I said, trans-related topics, I already have like a few ideas in mind of like what I might want to do videos on. But I also want your guys' opinions. So if you have questions or just like ideas of a video you would want to see me do, just post it in the comments. Or if you don't want to put it in the comments, you can private message me on Facebook. I'm also going to leave a link to my YouTube channel down in the comments so that you guys can go check that out, because that's where I'll be posting all my videos. But I'll still put updates on Facebook and like let you guys know that there's a new video up, or that I'm going to be putting one up, so that you guys can go and check it out. But anyways, like I said, so if you have ideas or questions or whatever, just let me know. And I don't care how personal the questions are, just like if anything that you want to know about me personally, or just about being transgender in general, just let me know. I'll be making these videos, and I'll be answering your questions and doing whatever else, alright? So thanks for watching. If you have a YouTube channel, please go subscribe to me. I currently have 0 subscribers, so like I just made my YouTube channel like today. But go like it, go subscribe, share it on Facebook if you don't mind. I'm not doing this for publicity. I'm not doing it because I want to, you know, become like a YouTube sensation. I'm doing it for the purpose of providing information for people like me, because I know that like it can be difficult to find information, or you just like you need questions answered or whatever, and I just want to start making these videos so that they can get those answers that they need and start being who they are on the inside. And so that's why I'm doing this. So if you guys could please just like spread the word, share it, subscribe, like the video, everything, that'd be really awesome. And I'll be making another video soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Later.